Hi, welcome to my garden. Now, today, I just want to give you a quick look at what you really need to get started with container gardening. And I have a feeling it's a lot less than you think. First thing first, let's talk about containers. Basically, if it can hold soil and allow excess water to drain easily, it'll do the trick. As you can see, I mainly use nursery pots in my garden, not because they're the best, but because they're cheap, easy to find, and can last a couple of years. Sometimes I also use old wash basins, buckets, or whatever else I can find to get a job done. The most important thing is that the container has holes at the bottom to let water drain properly. And if it doesn't, you can just punch a few holes with a knife, nail, or even a drill if you have one. Now, for the soil, I mostly use homemade compost, and when it runs out, I'll buy some pot and mix. If you're just starting out, I'll say stick with the store bought stuff. It might not be perfect and can cost a pretty penny based on where you're from, but it can save you a lot of time and stress. Ideally, what you want is something that's light and crumbly. It doesn't have to be a fancy brand, just something your plants can breathe and growing. When it comes to tools, don't overthink it. You can start with what you already have around the house. Just think about what you want to do and find something you can use. For example, I've been using a tablespoon, yes, the same one I used to eat, a tablespoon to plant small seedlings for over 6 years now. Even though I eventually bought some proper gardening tools a while back, I still prefer the spoon. So, whether it's an old spoon, a used container, a broken shovel, or even a water bottle, which you can use to water your plants instead of buying a fancy watering can, if it can do what you want, then use it. The thing is, it's not about the tools, it's about showing up and doing a little work each day. Now, let's talk about the good stuff. Let's take a look at what you'll actually be planting. If you're relatively new to gardening or just don't have the time to wait on seeds to germinate and then go through the whole process, then I suggest you start with seedlings. You can find them at a local plant nursery or garden center. They'll give you quicker results and a bit of confidence early on. Later, you can try sowing your own seeds. Just make sure you have a well lit spot to keep them while they're growing so that you don't end up with some very long, thin seedlings that are striving towards the sunlight like I have at the moment. On that note, I have to emphasize that sunlight is your best friend. So, you need to find a spot that gets about 6 hours of sunlight each day and place your pots there. Now, don't worry if it's not exact, since some plants can grow quite nicely even with less. And besides, if you notice anything is off, like your plants are trying to reach for the sky, you can always move the pots to a new location. When it comes to watering your plants, I can have a different take on it as well. Now, most gardeners recommend watering when the top inch of the soil feels dry, but it's really hot on my island most of the year. So I usually have to water my plants every single day unless it rains. So don't stress about doing it perfectly. Your plants will tell you when they need to get a drink. The truth is, the most important thing, as I stated before, is just to get started and actually do something every single day. You'll make a couple mistakes, but that's how we all learn. Start small, use what you've got, and grow from there. And if you want more ideas or help along the way, I've got plenty more to share over on my website, microfarmguide.com. See you next time.